Welcome back. It's time for business, and Emmanuel Aboajiriafe joins me right now. And we understand that the finance minister has been talking a lot lately about the reduction of taxes. I know that was in the MPP's manifesto.
Yes, and today he has given the strongest yet indications that he will actually reduce and remove some taxes, and of course to come in the budget 2017 budget statement,
which is due to be read, I think, in about March, in a month or so.
Exactly.
Okay, sure. Take it away.
Thank you very much, and thanks for joining me on Business. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta is insisting plans to remove and reduce some tax rates will indeed come on this year. There are fears with rising public debts and new expenditure inconsistencies being discovered, government might be forced to review the policy stance. But at an engagement with some journalists in Accra, Ken Ofori-Atta stressed the review will happen.
Some of the taxes the MPP administration had promised to review includes the 17.5% tax on financial services, import duties and levies, as well as the removal of taxes on some petroleum products and the reduction in corporate taxes. However, looking at the fact that this could cost the country about 2 billion Ghana cedis, analysts say the new administration might take a second look at this plan. While speaking at a meeting with some selected journalists on developments in the economy, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta maintained that the tax cut will come on and will be announced the 2017 budget.
First, that will do that, and we think quite a number of them are, as we call, nuisance taxes. So we certainly would do that. I mean, I can't really tell you. I mean, it's a mix of things from levies to exemptions to capital gains tax, and we're going to calculate and see which ones will be most effective. But certainly, in the budget we'll lay out, you will see some tax eliminations and reductions.
He also downplayed fears that the new areas being discovered will slow down the presentation of the 2017 budget.
And how are we going to finance it? We're expecting that with a rigorous discipline in terms of expenditure and revenue mobilization. But maybe one thing that I need to stress is that if there's any legacy we want to leave at the Ministry of Finance, is that we have a global standard treasury management and risk department here, which then will be able to see all of the public purses flows to be able to curtail things that occur. And I suspect that's an incredible amount of money that we'll be able to save. So we'll go in that same vein with that vigilance to ensure that we protect the public purse. I think that's key. And that will give us space to be able to do what we want to do.
Mr. Ofori-Atta indicated that the current discussions with the IMF is going well, and they are hopeful of reaching a smooth agreement at the end of their engagement.
We've got the IMF visit coming on, which we encouraged because we wanted to get on a good foot of understanding as to where we are, where they are, and where we want to go. But it's unequivocal that we are going to go through the program. We are committed to it to the very end. That we are hoping that by the end of the 15th, which is the period in which the engagement is about, right now technical meetings are going on.
Now, as part of their corporate social responsibility, some corporate entities are partnering other non-profit organizations to tackle the high unemployment rate in the country. One such institution is Barclays Bank, which has in this slide supported the 1986-year group of Wesley Girls High School to launch a mentorship program which seeks to equip students with entrepreneurial skills. This is part of the bank's corporate social responsibility initiatives dubbed Shared Growth Program. Managing Director of Barclays Bank, Patience Achianu, who is also an old student of the school, spoke with Joy Business after the launch of the program.
The Barclays Shared Growth Program was an initiative by Barclays Bank to, among other things, help curb the high level of unemployment rates in Ghana. At the launch of the mentorship program at the Wesley Girls High School, students were taken through some non-academic skills training that aims at equipping them with unique qualities they can rely on. Managing Director of Barclays Bank, who is also an old girl, Patient Achianu spoke to Joy Business in an interview.
Meant to prepare young people for the world of work by teaching them other skills apart from their technical skills, people skills, money skills, entrepreneurial skills, to prepare them to be able to fit in and operate at their optimum when they enter the workplace. And as I shared earlier, it's our commitment to Ghana and the communities in which we live and work. And shared growth is all about creating shared value and all of us sharing in the prosperity of the community. We believe that when we give back to our community, we all grow. And when we all grow, we all prosper.
National President of the 1986-year-old girls group, Bridget Jogmenuku, spoke about the motivation behind the collaboration between the Old Girls and Barclays Bank and explains that such programs are needed to guide the young children about making life decisions after school.
We need to pay back our experiences and our learnings and our expertise, if you like, into the lives of these girls 30 years on, because there are things we picked up from here that we've taken with us, and we think that if we had been told about them earlier, we would have probably made better decisions in our lives, or just to be guided so that they can make positive choices as they go along. So that is why we thought that 30 years on, there's something worth sharing with these girls, and that's why we decided to do it.
Some participants shared with Joy Business some of the skills they acquired.
I've learned to be myself. I've learned that success does not mean destination, and I've learned to persevere in life. It's something that needs to be continued because it's very good, and I've got a lot of my questions that were bothering me answered today, and I think it's a very, very good program because it will help a lot of youth outside. And through meeting some of the old girls who have completed school, it has made me want to aspire to do more and even do better than them. There's so many things that I really didn't pay attention to that I learned today, especially with connecting with people, networking, and I've also learned that I shouldn't center my life on my academics. I've had a lot of experience today on what they've told me, yes, and I think it has been a really good time for me. I think it's going to impact on me moving forward because right now I'm going to make an effort to have better relationships with people, and I think in that way people are going to learn from me because as was said in there, if people walk on eggshells around me, they can't learn much from me, but if I'm able to have a good sense of humor, people are happy with me, they will learn a lot, and I think Ghana will be a better place for us all.
And there's Patience again down there.
In other stories, the Fisheries Commission has extended its annual closing season from 1 month to 2 months. The closure, which took effect from the beginning of February, will see all 85 of Ghana's fishing trawlers banned from embarking on deep water fish expeditions. According to the Commission, defaulters would be severely dealt with as government tries to replenish the dwindling base of the country's fish stock. Charles Aite has more in this report.
Ghana's fisheries sector remains one of the leading contributors to GDP, having recorded a 10% growth in 2016. Unfortunately, the sector is threatened with the incidence of climate change across the world. Currently, the Fisheries Commission is implementing a 2-month ban on fishing activities by all trawlers. This directive has been seen by key industry players as disturbing as they complain of an acute shortage of fish and subsequent hikes in the price of fish stock. Head of Monitoring, Control and Surveillance at the Fisheries Commission, Godfred Bedi Chipu, tells Joy Business this directive does not apply to canoe fishermen and assures there is enough fish stock ahead of the season.
Businesses have had the opportunity to, those who want to import fish, to make up for any perceived, shortfalls, should have done that by now. And they just stopped fishing 2 days ago, and the fish that they came with have been landed. So I don't think immediately there will be any sign of fish not being available on the market. Yeah, so looking at the fact that this has been planned, it has been announced ahead of time, we know that businesses have taken the necessary steps to ensure that there is fish on the market And as I'm saying, the fish that they were doing, the fishing that they were doing in January, they have landed, and some of them may be even landing now because they have come back from fishing, and that fish will be available to the market. And Ghana does not only depend on fish from the sea. There is normally importation, and also we have aquaculture. We also have fish coming from the Volta Lake. So the 2 months, we do not think it will create any, bring about any shortages on the market.
So how will the 2-month closing season be enforced by the Commission? Captain General Emmanuel Kwafo is the National Coordinator of the Fisheries Enforcement Unit.
For February and March this year, it's being repeated. And we're going to implement the measures that we took in November last year. November last year, what we did was to monitor. We have electronic monitoring of all the trawlers. And we're making sure that the trawlers are monitored electronically 24/7. And after that, those with foreign licenses, we monitor them electronically and put fisheries observers on board. We also conduct patrols on board the Ghana Navy vessels, and we've intensified our patrols. The issue is that apart from these our own vessels that are not to fish, there will be other vessels, international vessels, which are called IUU vessels, which have not been authorized at all to fish, and they would like to take advantage of the closure to come fishing. So we've intensified our patrols on board the Ghana Navy vessels, to make sure that this nobody comes out there to trawl.
The 2-month closing season, which is expected to be implemented annually till 2019, will increase fish imports and stimulate the aquaculture sector. For Joy Business, Charles Aite reporting.
Head of Policy at the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Dr. Ishmael Aka, says government has so far given indications it could weather the storm to avert any power inconsistency as oil production on the Jubilee field halts for the next 15 days. This shutdown is to allow for an interconnection between the Trinidad, Enyura and Ntome fields and the Jubilee field for gas exportation from the FPSO at Tamils. There are fears this development could affect smooth power delivery for both domestic and commercial users. But in an interview with Joy Business, Dr. Aka said some actions taken by government give evidence it is committed to preventing a serious power crisis.
We starting the year with about 3,840 megawatts, but generation has been a challenge. So the issue now is getting fuel to power some of our capacity. But the government has promised to do 2 main things we believe are very positive this year. The first one is to shift all government buildings, take all government buildings away from the grid. They want to install distributed solar solution for all ministries and government agencies. I think this is very positive because normally you hear that ECG says government owes them this amount and all that because government is not paying for their bills. When we put solar on these buildings, we are not going to generate any bill. So I think that is positive. Another thing in the MPP manifesto, which I believe should be done this year, is the technical audit of the power sector. I mean, we've signed a number of contracts, we've done a lot of deals in the sector, and we believe that we should, the technical audit will be very important to identify the structural challenges in the sector to deal with it.
And that's all in business for now. Many thanks for your attention, and of course, have a great weekend. My name is Emmanuel Apuachi-Wiafi. Good evening.